Darren van der Westhuizen, and we're in Port Elizabeth for round 3 of National Motocross Championships, brought to you by Monster Energy and TRP distributors. Massive crowd gathered here, always one of the best nationals of the season on one of the toughest tracks in South Africa. And lots for the kiddies to do. That's why there was a big crowd assembled here. Spectacular shots of this spectacular circuit. And no doubt we're in for some of the best racing of the season as this tough track tests the riders to their absolute maximum. Dave Peterson had a chance to catch up with Neville Bradshaw.
Well, Neville Bradshaw, welcome back to South Africa. Before we get into today's racing, a little bit about what you've been doing in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, pretty much in 2004 I moved over to the UK, and I've been racing out there for 11 years now. Yeah, it's been great, you know. I've managed to win 3 Red Bull Championships MX2, 2 British Masters, 1 a Supercross, and yeah, rode for South Africa 5 times at the Motocross Destination. So it's been successful, you know. I never thought I'd be able to do that, and yeah, I'm pretty pumped to have pulled it off. So now 31 years old, so winding down a little bit, and I thought, yeah, it'd be great fun to come out and do some racing back home.
Matters at hand today, sand track. How's that for you?
Yeah, no, it's good, eh? Yeah, like obviously we don't get dry sand like this, so but it's cool. The track's going to be awesome. Like practice was a little bit quick, like just flat out, but I think it's going to get nice and rough, and yeah, it's going to be good. You know, the boys have obviously been doing a lot of practice here. You can see that. So yeah, I think the 20-minute races will be pretty good.
Riders briefing, and the riders getting their final words before they get out onto this tough Rover Port Elizabeth track. Once the girls turn the board around to 5, and we're moments away from the first race of the day. It's the MX2 Heat 1. Who's going to get that all-important whole shot? It's the 57 TLB Monster Energy Yamaha of Matty Milan up to the front. And a good start. He is unbeaten for the season and looks like starting the trend out here in Port Elizabeth up in the front where he says he belongs. Can he hold it there though? Not a sand specialist, and does have the sand specialist right behind him in Anthony Reynard, and Neville Bradshaw in 3rd place already on that Vision Racing Tinswala out of Africa Yamaha. Great to have him back in the country. Karen Fitzgerald and Tristan Purdon, one of the favourites out there. Not such a good start. He's going to have to work hard. Great shots as they go through that bell left-hand turn. Some of the guys using the outside berm, keeping the momentum. Some going for the defensive inside line. Tristan Purdon railing that outside, trying to make a few passes.
Matty Milan, 17-point lead in the championship after all those wins. You'd think it'd be more points than that, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's not too bad. 2 rounds in, I'm not complaining. So hopefully this round goes to plan. So hopefully it's another good round for us.
Sand track for you?
Not normally known as a sand rider. I've never normally done well here, but hopefully my luck turns around today. I'm feeling good. Bike's working awesome. TLB Yamaha putting in lots of effort, so should be a good day. Got a good feeling.
ABE Midas Husqvarna rider Jason Visser mistaken to the left-hand turn. He's the teammate of another international star, Brenny Eckrold, and we caught up with him.
Brenny, we've caught up with you in Harry Smith, which was your first national back in South Africa. How's it been going since then?
I've made progress so far. In Cape Town I got a 5th overall, Harry Smith was 8th overall, so I'm hoping to keep the momentum going and try to keep the progress up. So I'm hoping to get on the podium maybe.
And sand tracks for you?
Sand tracks are a lot of fun. In the beginning you feel like a goon, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun, definitely.
Reed Sinnix putting in a good ride. He's in 5th place at the moment on the 225. The youngster going places, but Matty Milan still holds on to the race lead. He's got the Nevster right behind him on the 272. So Matty Milan winding down this race up on the front. Can he keep his clean slate? Karen Fitzgerald back in 3rd place on the Red Bull KTM. Just lost touch with the front runners. There's Anthony Reynard picked up after his fall. He's chasing down a Reed Sinnix, and there is Tristan Purdon trying to get around Jesse Wright. A welcome return to racing for Jesse after injury. Matty Milan still holds the race lead. There's Neville Bradshaw. The gap isn't coming down. Looks like Neville is going to settle for 2nd place. We're not too sure if he's got some sort of a problem looking down at that rear brake. 3rd place, Karen Fitzgerald on that Red Bull KTM. Also looks like he's going to accept a podium position there. Anthony Reynard has found his way into 4th place. Keeps ahead of the TLB Monster Energy Yamaha of Reed Sinnix. A little look over his shoulder. Matty Milan wants to know where the competition is. And there it is, right behind him on the 272. So in the final stage of the race, Neville Bradshaw is starting to close the gap down. I think Matty Milan got a lot of experience, so he'll try and bring this one home in the front. Karen Fitzgerald in that 3rd place. Len van der Westhuizen commentates on the final moments of this race as Matty Milan is going to bring it to the checker flag and keep that clean slate of wins in the national championships on that number 57. Great to have Neville Bradshaw back and a solid 2nd in his first heat of the day. Celebrates with a big heel clicker. Karen Fitzgerald in third, but let's catch up with race winner.
About 4 laps in, I started riding a bit tight and got a bit of arm pump. My lines weren't so good, and they started catching me again. And then about 3 laps from the end, Neville pushed at me, and then the last 2 laps, I just managed to take it home, find some smooth lines, and take the win.
Always a tough battle on the track for the 254 strokes, but now it's time for the 450s. Plenty of horsepower, and they'll get around this Rover track very quickly as the board turns to 5 and wait to get underway with the first MX1 race of the day. Can Neville Bradshaw get used to that Yamaha very quickly and get to the front? It looks like he's got himself a good start, but Anthony Raynaud right in the mix as well. We've got a rider that goes down. It looks like it's Jason Fisser. Sasha Nordia was not such a good start there, somewhere in the mid-pack. He'll have work to do, the reigning MX1 champion, as they go through a couple of tight sandy turns, and it is Neville Bradshaw that has gone to the front. Division Racing, Tinswalla out of Africa, Yamaha in the front, and he'll be a hard man to beat from here. There's Caleb Tennant on the 444. Very fast in Cape Town, but had a few bouts of bad luck, I have to say, in that race. Can he make up for it here at PE? It certainly loves the sand. Is the man on 37. That's Justin Boostall. It sees Caleb Tennant has gone down. That obviously distracted him, and down he went, and now dodging motorcycles on the backside of that drop-off. Thankfully, everything's okay. Neville Bradshaw up in the front and starting to get away from Anthony Raynaud on the 23. The Ace Motorsports Husqvarna in second place. The rest of the riders streaming through. Great view from above of this Rover circuit. And fantastically prepared, always one of the best nationals of the season. Great crowd turned out here, as we see, and we had some interesting customers in the house. Brandon Hassis and Lance Isaacs taking a step away from road racing to come watch the motocross boys in the deep sand. Everyone enjoying themselves. Fantastic racing here at Rover, and every year it's the same. Neville Bradshaw up in the front though, and he'll be chuffed about that. He's just flown over in time for this national. He's missed out on 2 rounds, so going to have to do a lot of winning this season if he wants to win a championship, but it's not impossible. Here's Sasha Nordia on the number 1, so starting to make up a few places now. One of the guys who loves the sand a lot is Ross Branch. Let's hear from him.
Ross, a bit busy, eh? Off-roads, motocross, just seems to happen every weekend, especially coming from Botswana.
Yeah, definitely. No, Dave, we've been racing a lot the past couple of weeks. We've been really busy. But you know, good races, good to get the sponsors out there, and without them, racing wouldn't be possible. So it's good to get their names out there.
I believe you and Amy have set a date. Putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, you're putting on the spot.
Always great to have Ross Branch at the tracks. A big smiley face and a great ambassador for brother Leader Tread KTM. Neville Bradshaw up in the front, great ambassador for his sponsors for sure. And the first return to South African motocross. There is the 211 of Jaden Ashwell from Zimbabwe. And let me tell you, Zimbabwe putting in some great results through various classes at this Rover circuit. Anthony Raynaud doing everything in his power to close up on Neville Bradshaw with Sasha Nordia, who's now found his way into 3rd place. But 2 of probably the fittest riders in the country now up in the front as they went through that Thor left-hand turn. Little way back to 3rd place, Sasha Nordia going to try and close down on them, but I think he's going to run out of time. The battle is on for 4th place at the moment. It's Karen Fitzgerald and Jaden Ashwell, 2 KTM riders, and unfortunately down again is Caleb Tennant on the 444. Had been fighting his way nicely through the field till that moment and gets going just ahead of Ross Branch, who's coming around after a good start to this race. Neville Bradshaw right. Looks like Anthony Raynaud has found a little burst of speed and has closed up onto the back end of Neville Bradshaw. Time is running out, so Ken the Netster holds on. Here we go, lots of support. That's for Ross Branch to try and make up another position. And still that dicing going on between Karen Fitzgerald and Jaden Ashwell. Neville Bradshaw through that turn. He's got some of the best lines on the track. You can see that using a different line to everyone else, and that is why he's going to win the first race of the MX1 class here at Rover. Anthony Raynaud, fantastic ride in 2nd place, showing you that he can compete with the very best. And there's Sasha Nordia home in 3rd place. Crowds all gather around at lunchtime to get the autographs of all the top riders, and fantastic support, like we said. Monster Girls shooting t-shirts into the crowd, everyone ducking for those, and a little bit of fishing in between as well in the dam that supplies the water for watering the track. Time now for Heat 2. The MX2 class was fantastic to watch in Heat 1. Who's it going to be this time around? Manny Milan trying to keep that clean slate. The 57 gets another decent start, but so does Jason Fisser on that AB minus Husqvarna up in the front. Oh, what a start that is. The number 14, one of the youngest riders in the class, and now leads the MX2 second race. It's going to be heaps of pressure for him. Can he handle it? He's got Manny Milan on his tail, and Tristan Purden. Wow, how fast did Karen Fitzgerald blast around the outside there as well on the 108. Red Bull KTM wants to get to the front. He knows the pace of this MX2 class and still lying very handy in the points as they go up and over that fly jump at the back. And nice to have all the support out there, Fly being one of the major contributors. And Manny Malone up in the front, still holds the race lead. Jason Visser now is down to second place. Now, this is going to be an interesting tussle because Tristan Purdon was one of the fastest riders in Heat 1 coming through the field, and he's got a decent start here. You can see the lead just up ahead of him. Neville Bradshaw, not the start he got in the MX1 class, but close enough to the front to make a challenge. And once again, got the 23 of Anthony Reynaud right behind him. Here we go. Oh, little headbang on the handlebars there. Manny Malone starting to get a little erratic. Not too sure what the problem is, and the guys have closed the gap back up on him. There's Tristan Purdon on the 41. He's got Neville Bradshaw pushing him as they went through that FMF corner. Manny Malone now, that gap is very close, so the pressure back on the man on 57 in the front, and he has a lot of pressure to keep that clean slate this year. Garrick Pretorius, there we go, Bernie Eckrold chucking sand all over the camera, showing you just how quickly they're getting around this Rover circuit. Jesse Wright on the 100 going through the turn. Back with our race leader, Manny Malone. He's found another burst of speed. He has to get away from the rest. And looks like there might be a challenge for the second place. Jason Visser under pressure now from Karen Fitzgerald on that Red Bull KTM. Outside line, Tristan Purdon. Bernie Eckrold being told to concentrate there by his support crew. He's got Reed Sinix right on his tail. And 57 continues to lead. Jason Visser somehow in second place, dealing with the pressure very well. Back through that FMF sandy turn, and we've got a new third place man. That's bad news for our front runners. It's Tristan Purdon. He's starting to put in some of the fastest laps on this track. Reed Sinix, though, gets squirrely, and down he goes. We're able to catch up with Reed and see just how tough motocross is.
Reed Sinix, motocross is quite a hectic sport, judging by those scars on the shoulder.
Yeah, it's not an easy sport. Definitely a few injuries through it, but it's what keeps me going. You got to push through them, and it's the tough times that build you. So it's definitely a lot of fun and also a lot of pain, but it's worth it.
Certainly worth it to come out here to Rover and race in front of such a big crowd here, and they're putting on a great performance. The two front runners, Manny Malone under pressure though from Tristan Purdon as Neville Bradshaw has battled to fight through the field this time around. There's been some very, very fast laps put in by everyone. They've stepped up their pace knowing that Neville Bradshaw is in the field. Oh, there's been a change. Tristan Purdon has found his way to the front. Manny Malone was looking a little erratic there and does have some problems. So Tristan Purdon is on that number 41 on the TRP Monster Energy Factory Yamaha team in the front. Manny Malone for the first time this season back to second place, and not a position he'll like to see very often. So Tristan Purdon there, well, just having to deal with a couple of back markers, but we'll get past quickly, no doubt. And in fact has set a lap time that's been quicker than anyone else on the day. In fact, even quicker than the 450s, and a big fist in the air to celebrate his first national championship race win of the season. Manny Malone holds on for second, just ahead of Karen Fitzgerald, and a good solid finish. Great race from the MX2 class. With a first and a second though, Manny Malone still keeps the overall, and a clean slate at least in terms of overall, ahead of Tristan Purdon, his teammate Neville Bradshaw, Karen Fitzgerald, Anthony Reynaud, and Bernie Eckrold in sixth place.
Yeah, I finally got the monkey off my back, getting the win. I just, from getting all the confidence riding in Europe, just helped a lot. Can't thank everyone behind me, Monster Energy, TRP, Yamaha. Everyone is helping me, thank you.
Lots of support for a talented youngster as we go back to the start line for the MX1 Heat 2. Neville Bradshaw was the man to beat in Heat 1. Comfortable win there ahead of Anthony Reynaud. He chased him for most of the race. Let's see, can the Nesta do it again? Good start this time from Anthony Reynaud. He knew he needed to get a whole shot if he wanted to win this ahead of Neville Bradshaw. Those two were certainly the quickest in the MX1 class. A good start from Karen Fitzgerald, one of his best starts of the day. Usually the whole shot king hasn't quite managed to pull them off this time around. So Anthony Reynaud leads the way ahead of, looks like Karen Fitzgerald in second place. We watch everyone go through that tight left-hander. Very tricky section of the circuit there. A big double that only Neville Bradshaw was able to do in this class. They go down there to fly back straight up and over what we call squatter jump. It's certainly a big jump with a lot of ruts, and that's where a lot of the crowd were gathered to watch. Back to our front runners though, Anthony Reynaud still leads. He's the man from Cape Town, so does get to ride in the sand a fair bit. This is why he loves this track, and always done. In fact, won his national championship at this track a couple of seasons ago. Karen Fitzgerald applying a lot of pressure, and how about that? Into third place already is Neville Bradshaw. He could see the 23 up in the front and knew he had to make a few passes very quickly. Otherwise, this race was going to disappear away from him. Look at Karen Fitzgerald trying to go around the outside and the cut back. There's your reigning MX1 champion. Not a good start from him. He's behind Caleb Tennant with a bit of work to do. got close up in the front, so it looks like Neville Bradshaw has picked up the pace into second place. Anthony Reynard with all the pressure now, so Kieran Fitzgerald has gone missing a bit. There's Michael Doherty, also set some of the fastest laps on the track. He's going to have to deal with pressure from Sasha Nordia on the number 1. Sasha Nordia has been very consistent this year. One in Cape Town, looks like he's going to come over some podiums. Oh, that's a rider that's gone down. It's Caleb Tennant. And that also looks like that's Michael Doherty that's gone down. So some big names have gone out of this race. Neville Bradshaw, in the meantime, has also found his way to the front. Anthony Reynard couldn't do anything about the pressure coming from the Yamal man behind him. Ace Motorsports Husqvarna back to second. Still using those good lines out on the track, Neville Bradshaw. And, of course, is going to be the strongest man at the checkered flag, taking the win. So just to confirm the overall results then, Neville Bradshaw with the 2 wins on the day, ahead of Anthony Reynard 2 seconds. So very consistent performance. Sasha Nordia in third, Kieran Fitzgerald, Jaden Ashwell, and Ross Branch.
Yeah, I know for sure. Sand's not normally my thing, and 450 is not normally my thing. But I'm really enjoying the new Yamaha. It's definitely a great bike to ride, and just rode behind Anthony for a while, got into my rhythm, and then just jumping that double at the back there was making up quite a bit of time. But the pacing in South Africa is really good. The guys have upped it, and what an awesome event, I can't believe how far the sport's come since I've been away.
Neville, just what did you down in the end, though?
Yeah, I think that was one of my best races so far of the year. And racing with Nev, now that he's back, I think it just stepped it up to a whole nother level. So enjoyed it, and tried my hardest to